Hello and welcome back to Paradise Lost, and we're on the chapter called Bargaining. I'd be curious to see what exactly they're bargaining about. Is this going to be more of a breakdown between, like, that woman who's the head of the resistance and then the scientist guy who's helping her? Maybe. Or is this going to be bargaining in some other sense? Okay, so yeah, we're on tier 3, so we're actually making our way down to, yeah, we're slowly making our way down to tier 4, or level 4, or whatever you want to call it. Seeing what these guys can do. Seeing if the war maybe made its way all the way down here, or if the war kind of got stopped up on level 2. Also, this is... It's a really good question, kid. I'm not sure. Also, I hope that the woman, or the computer lady, which it's still my theory, I'm hoping that we can still somehow communicate with her. Maybe we'll be able to find stuff. And that's really interesting. They actually, like... They made, like, a simulated beach for people to relax on? That's really curious. Okay, let's check this audio log. What happened? You know, I feel like the whole point of subtitles are that they're supposed to actually, like, make sense, right? Giving me subtitles in Polish for something sung in Polish doesn't really do anything for me. But that was weird. Okay. Well, yeah, let's go check what's down here, and then I guess we'll make our way back around. Yeah, so they really went all out trying to, like, simulate multiple environments and stuff for the people down here. Interesting, yeah, they really did some real thought to this. I actually wonder if there would be a way to go ahead and, like, have a society that could somehow be fine down here. I guess you could, yeah, if you had, like, UV lights and stuff to go ahead and get people their vitamin D, because that's one of the things that people really need. And then if you, like, you would have to have shitloads of lights. You'd have to have, like, this entire cavern covered in stuff, or else, like, a huge array, like, way up there, to try to even remotely simulate the light of the sun. And then, like, you'd have to have it on, like, a track so that it would move around and stuff, so that the shadows would never be stable. Oh yeah, no, this is, let's go rinse off the bullshit water, I guess, that we just fell in. Yeah, I guess you probably could, but I feel like it would only work with people who were raised underground. I feel like people who had seen the light of day probably wouldn't necessarily know what to do. Yeah, they probably wouldn't necessarily be able to handle... Yeah, they wouldn't be able to handle it. Well, I guess maybe they would, I'm not sure. Alright, well, anyway. Let's see, what, yeah, what do we got going on up here? So this is more, it's 50 kilos of... I don't actually know, is this like... That might be like sand or something, that might be sandbags. Or that might be something else. It might be like rice, or it might be wheat, or... I don't know. It'll have to be something. Okay, so that's progress. We're going to crawl in through the window. Anything down this way? No, I think we're okay. Yeah. So if we go on in, what else? Yeah, what is this building then? So this is like right next to the beach. Or was this like a private beach for like the rich? Is anyone here?
Is anyone here?
It doesn't look like it. Yeah, this looks like a private mansion or something. So maybe this was like... This was the head officer's house or something like that?
It always amazes me how short your memories are. I walk these corridors day after day and hear the growing whispers. What if he's right? Maybe he has a point. What if, what if? Let me remind those who have forgotten. When the Battle of the Bunker ended, we went looking for German civilian survivors. None were found alive. Must I remind you why? Because the bunker's machinery had removed them from the battlefield so they wouldn't interfere with the counter-attack, only to suffocate them in one of the unventilated hangars. Is this the kind of effectiveness we are looking for? Is that the value we put on human life? I will say it once more. No! I will never allow these machines to be turned on again.
No, that's pretty horrifying. Okay, so this thing basically... It's interesting to play this after Portal, because yeah, this thing basically GLaDOS'd them. That's really interesting. Yeah, what the hell? So they went ahead and... The machine... Yeah, I guess it's basically like the paperclip problem, right? Here, let's read this and I'll talk about what I mean by that. Order number 210. Effective immediately, all cameras in the compound are to be disabled until debugging in each room takes place. All the communication that pertains to matters of production, strategy, food distribution, future plans, etc. is to be conducted through written messages. For the time being, assume that all your conversations are being monitored. He's listening. Dominica. So this was... Yeah, this was... maybe the scientist was like, no, we have to turn these on or something. Maybe, yeah, maybe they worried that he would go ahead and he would turn on the machine and use it against them. So, boy, it looks like, well, it's not even a proper chessboard. There's not... Where are the kings? Okay, well, whatever. Yeah, it's very, very odd. I'm really... I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm loving this, but there's a lot of questions that I have here. And boy, that looks like a very, very rough boat to be on. Jesus. Okay, so what exactly happened here? Why is the yeah, why was, and that was the Polish resistance leader. I think that was her name, Dominika, right? I think we saw that on the computer thing when it was like reading up on Polish underground members. So why was she... Yeah, why was she trying to hide stuff from the scientist, I guess? Order number 108, all Nazi documents are to be left untouched, despicable as they are. We will not burn them. The Nazis already burn all evidence of their atrocities on their own. We do not need to aim them. When the war finally ends, and it will end, the documents will be used to expose them and hold them to account. All the documents are to be stored in the file room. Well, that seems less than efficient, because if somebody did want to destroy them to, for example, help hide the war crimes, then they probably could just go ahead and they could throw a match in there. If I remember right, too, I think something similar actually happened with the case against Pablo Escobar in Colombia. I think they were holding all of the documents in, like, a hyper-secure building in... I want to say it was, like, their Supreme Court building or something like that. But they consolidated them all into, like, one room. So what happened was the cartel went ahead and they paid, I think, FARC, the communist guerrillas, to go ahead and raid the building. And, like, obviously the communists didn't care because they had money to help fight the revolution, but the trade-off was that they had to go ahead and find that room, and they were able just to kind of douse it in gas and burn it all or something like that. They were able to basically wreck all the evidence because it was consolidated. So there definitely is a negative to doing that. Let's press you. Let's see. What,
Hello? Can you hear me? It's not working. I need to find a control room.
Yeah, you do. Okay, so I bet that's because they disabled all of the stuff here. So maybe that's why there's no computer here. There's no AI or whatever giving us some help. She can't see us here.
It's locked.
Yes, it is. Kind of amazed at how well this stuff is maintaining. Like, that water, this should be very humid down here. Anyone up there?
Is anyone up there?
Did the lighting just change? It's hard to tell. Yeah, did the lighting just change because Unreal, or did the lighting just change because somebody did something? Hey, big old teddy bear. Yeah, and then they have like all of these beds and stuff here. Interesting. Okay, so these guys... I wonder if this is where the resistance or whatever like bunkered up after... Yeah, and then they went ahead and disabled that too. That must be the case. I'm curious then why this building has so many like locked doors. Game? Okay, that was weird. Yeah, there's been a couple of times that like the animation is stopped and then started. There was one in that room where we used the rocket to bash down the door, and then that one there too. It's like the animation partially starts and then it just for some reason doesn't continue. Hello, that's actually like a just straight I think that's... Is that the place that I went by? Yeah, I think that might be the statue I went by. I was gonna say it would be cool if there was an underground building, but Yeah, oh, that reminds me too. There's another environment that I'd really like to see a game built around, and there's an SCP. And it's an SCP that's basically, I think it's supposed to be like an underground sort of steampunky London type of deal. And it's just like, it's this sort of weird semi-dystopia thing, but apparently something went to hell and it never worked. But all there's these like weird semi-robot humans that like are turned into the police force. And there's actually these birds that fly around that go ahead and they, again, really, yeah, they go ahead and they have like cameras for heads and they look for intruders. It's a really fascinating one. I wish I could remember what number it was, but that's another one of those environments I would just love to see a game built around, because there's something really cool there. And to be honest, I feel like that's the case for a lot of SCPs, although a lot of games I don't think do the SCPs themselves justice. Yeah, I tried to go ahead and play the SCP like Containment Breach remake at one point, and I wasn't really sold on it. But that was probably a pretty good... That's probably one of the better efforts I've seen made. A lot of times they just kind of end up being like those shitty Siren Head games. They're just like walk around and then bam, jump scare. It just isn't really interesting to watch. Or to play. This is Rinnard Lazy's, or Rizzard Lazy's account. I don't know how to pronounce that. I went out mushroom picking, not that I thought I'd find any mine, but because I like wandering among the trees. So I stumbled over a gnarled beech, looked up, and over by a clump of thistle, I saw a white she-goat. A miracle, I thought, because there hasn't been a living creature to be found since we ate that last hen 10 years ago. And lo and behold, a goat. Where could it have come from? Right away I thought Velez must have favored us to send a blessing like that. I walked up to it, it didn't run, it let me rope it and walk back to the settlement by my side like a dog on a leash. I went straight to the high priest to share the wonderful news. I hoped it would give us milk with healing properties. What? I'm fairly sure goat milk is just in fact mammal milk. It doesn't actually like... Yeah, it doesn't actually like have healing properties. I don't think goats are straight up magic. I guess I could be wrong, right? But, yeah... Alright. So what do you got here? This is... Herr Commandant, at the request of Wilhelm Streck, I have agreed to lead a talk with Agartha Shambhala, Arius Atlantis Thule, the control of parapsychic human abilities and research on the summoning of zombie armies. He convinced me this material will provide the necessary support for the colonists. In my youth, I took a strong interest in these topics, so I have plenty of material to speak on. Yet we both know, I hope, that these stories are not worth a hill of beans. I am a scientist and know that the strength of the German nation does not come from fairy tales, but from mental fortitude and science. Thus, when the colonists prepare for the ultimate battle, they should draw on the accomplishments of scholars. I propose a return to the method that was tested with great success at the front, namely substance D9. This mix of cocaine, Pervidin, a strong stimulant, and Eucadol, a strong painkiller, transforms common men into super soldiers. It provides a significant boost to concentration, endurance, strength, courage, and self-confidence. It also disables pain receptors while stifling hunger, thirst, and the need for sleep. It has side effects, yet in the deciding moment they are of no import. That's always a good sign, where you have to go and you have to drug up your people. If I remember right, I think in the past, and it's one of those things that's sort of like semi-rumored to still occur. The U.S. Air Force, I think, used something called modafinil, and that was like a drug that it basically disables your need for sleep and makes you ability to focus really well. It's one of those nootropic things that people always talk about, and I've been really tempted to try it once just to see. But at the same time, I do work really hard to keep drugs out of my system, so... It's also apparently very, very illegal. Wilhelm Streck, dear Willie, you do not need to tell anyone... I know you do not need anyone to tell you how to do your job, but I'd like to alert you to a problem. I've received reports that despite constant guidance and instruction, many people still do not understand the concept of the colony. Some fear being locked up underground, or even that those left on the surface will have it better. If I were to prune away such doubters, I would lose half the settlers, the would-be strength of this colony. So I hit upon an idea. Perhaps we could, in some undemanding way, share with our colonists the history of the Aryans and the Atlanteans from whom we descend. After all, if our ancestors could thrive after losing our homeland, we too can emerge from our ordeal, defeat our enemies, and bring about the rebirth of our great Germany. With your storytelling talent, this tale could surely soften the hearts of doubters and calm frayed nerves. What do you think? Your friend Max. Well, it's actually not a bad way of doing it. Yeah, also Atlantis is another environment that I feel like isn't used enough in games. Like, I know that there's some that reference it and such, but I feel like there's a really cool idea. Especially if it could be somehow Oh god, what was it? It was... Was it just called Atlantis? I think that was like a Disney animated movie. I remember loving that when I was a kid. That was just really cool. That was a really interesting mix of environments and art style and everything else. That was just really, really solid. Okay, nothing... Nothing over here. Okay, obviously there's the door. And let's see, what do I have here? What does this little note say? This is... Please don't leave. I knew what the others were considering leaving. I just never realized you were one of them. If you go, Dominica won't let us see each other ever again. You know she doesn't allow any of his followers to interact with us. Is his superstitious gibberish more important to you than me? Okay, that's interesting. So they... Yeah, so I think... Running theory. So, the underground took over. And then... There was a schism. There was a schism between the scientist and the woman who was leading these people. And apparently, the scientist, I guess, went for superstition? Maybe? That's odd. Yeah, why would he go for superstition? That doesn't make any sense to me, but... I guess maybe there was a reason. Maybe this place, like, you know, maybe it's sort of like the meme, they dug too deep. Maybe they did. Maybe they dug too deep and they found some evidence that the superstitions weren't just that. Order request. I'm writing you again to request permission to use Nazi technology. People are starving. We can't continue to live in the dark like this. How many more women have to suffer miscarriages before you see things clearly? I'll write to you every single day until you realize there's no other way. Okay, yeah, I mean, if the technology is the difference between life and death, the fact that the technology was, in theory, used for bad reasons, I mean, couldn't you just go ahead and couldn't, like, if your big concern is stopping death, couldn't you just, like, how did it even use those, right? Did it shoot things? Or did it just, like, trick them into following it, or what?
It must be a key to the locked doors.
Yeah, it probably is. So I have now some sort of like a key card. And then what does this do here?
What was that?
That sounded like a hidden door. Hang on, okay, and then what are... No, you're the letter. There was one over here as well, right? This is... Any German occupiers still hiding in the shelters to be sought, put on trial, and sentenced for their crimes. This includes civilians, workers, and military personnel. This goes for any Polish collaborators as well. You know, this does raise the question then, like, oh, hello. Oh, cool. This does raise the question of how what sort of culpability did the citizens of the Nazi, or the citizens of Nazi Germany really bear for it? Like, oh, that's not good. Somebody has to have been alive to play this. But yeah, like, what culpability do they actually have? It's a very interesting question. This is Greta Muller, 1920. She's in Frankfurt. Okay, interesting. I wonder what... Okay, so yeah, I guess this is... So this was the doctor's room. So what, was he having, like, private showings with Greta Muller? Was she... were they, like, in love with each other, maybe? Yeah, what exactly was happening there? And also, I have a theory then. Who, Our mother reacted very, very violently to us showing her the picture. Is our mother Dominica? And then did she leave because everything went to hell and she was like the only survivor? Okay, I'm not entirely sure that we need to have both steps there to open the door. I mean, I already went ahead and do that. You could just have the door forcibly open on its own, but... okay, what else? So much reading. Dominica, fine, I will leave. Anyone who wants to join me is welcome to do so. But to those who choose to stay, I ask, where do you draw the line? You're happy to reap the rewards, but unwilling to pay the proper respects. You ignore the divine powers that gave you these luxuries. If you decide to bow your heads to the gods that made this all possible, come with me. Huh. Okay, so see, I was actually kind of on his side for a bit. But if he's going to go ahead and... I don't know why I keep fucking yawning. I think it's because there's so much talking to do in this fucking game. Yeah, but if he's going to be like, the gods did it, I'm going to start losing patience real quick.
Power is at least 50,000 times greater than that of the Americans' ENIAC. Its construction employs newly discovered methods of neural communication, sustained by faint electrical impulses and the activation of normally unused parts of the Gehirns. What's Gehirns? Gehirn. Here it is. Gehirn. What? That can't be.
Is Gehirn brain? I'm going to assume it's brain. Okay, let's go ahead and do this as well, then we can, yeah, again, I will say, like, the biggest complaint I have so far is that the control system is pretty damn clunky. So yeah, like, there might be a few too many steps to do things. This really could just be a question of pressing buttons to do stuff. Just, like, just tell me to press E and my guy will open up the door or something if you really want it to be that interactive. So let's see, can we go talk to our computer friend here?
Okay, let's see if bidirectional communication is working. Clearly not. We'll have to find a workaround. What if... I know it's not ideal, but given the circumstances, this will have to do for now. I'd like you to press the button, if you can hear me.
Okay, sure.
Dobrze. Let's try another experiment, shall we? As I suspected, this won't be straightforward. There's some sort of safeguard blocking my input. This makes no sense. Why build a huge machine with this much computing power and then make it impossible for the operator to use it? Unless it doesn't want me to make any changes. It wants you to make them. I just tried to access the part of the system. Can you enable it? That's it. It worked. Okay, let's not waste any more time. You always said you wanted your own garden someday. What do you feel like planting?
Huh, okay. I guess let's go ahead and let's do corn, maybe? And then... Ah, shit, what did that just say? Wasn't it like 22 inches, something like that, for corn, 23?
Remember, we must be careful not to overwater the crops.
And then let's go ahead and let's do automatic harvesting.
What's happening? We must have initiated the automated calibration cycle. It's overloading the system. Remember, we prepared for this. We need to disable some of these processes before... You'll have to authorize its change. I can only request them for you. Now, disable them as quickly as possible. That's it. Now for the next one. You're doing great. It's no use. That's it. We're turning it off. Jasna cholera. It won't let me. Oh, shit. Oh,
Is that you? Say something.
He turned it on.
Turn what on? What are you talking about?
That machine, he turned it on. I don't think he's supposed to do that.
Who cares? I haven't heard from you since that jump. Do you know how worried I was? Are you alright? Well, are you?
I think I'm fine.
I'm
Didn't
fine.
didn't break a leg or anything.
Then why didn't you say so? Where are you? I haven't seen you on my monitors.
Sure, let's say this. Maybe she'll know who he is.
Lucian used to live here.
Lucian, okay.
The man you've been looking for.
Hold on, how do you know that?
You found the living quarters. Good. According to my map, they are on level 3. I'll try to find you with the cameras. I don't want to lose sight of you anymore. Do you understand? We need to stay focused, okay? Please tell me you understand.
Yeah, sure, fine.
Okay.
Alright. Let's see. Where to now, I guess? Maybe... Well, did I do anything else? So, that confirms, though, that this uses a human being to process. Which then creates the question, who is currently the human being processing all of this? Yeah, what is this? And why... Is that why we're here? Did the scientist... No, the scientist couldn't have put him... What?
My name's Eva. I thought you should know.
Eva? Okay, cool. Hi Eva, I'm Szymon, I think. Can I talk to you at all? Yeah, fuck it, let's give her a chat. Let's see what she's up to.
My name is Szymon.
Oh,
Nice to
Szymon,
meet you,
okay.
Szymon. I'm sorry
Szymon.
if I came across as cold before. After we talked, I realized how selfish it was of me to expect you to make that stupid jump. My first thought was to scream out your name to stop you, but then I realized that I don't even know what it is. So, I'm sorry. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Cool, I guess. Yeah, don't worry about
You don't
it.
have to worry anymore. Everything is fine. I will find you. And then we will figure this all out.
Thank you, Szymon.
Okay, so I can move again, thank you. Yeah, okay, she's definitely the computer, though. That's 110% what's happening here. The scientist was yelling, let her go. So was our mother one of the hosts, maybe? Yeah, did she... She must have been, right? That's the only thing that makes any amount of sense. She has to have been the host. And then the scientist was trying to get her to escape.
Are you there?
Yeah, I think so.
My map, this is the luxurious part of the bunker. I bet it's glamorous. Is this thing even on?
Yes, it is. But I'm having a hard time seeing what that was, so sorry, I kind of walked away from her when she was talking. Alright, so, first things first, another note here. Discover the path to the rebirth of the Third Reich. Explore the cradle of the Aryan race and the source of its power. Unravel the secret that shall swell the ranks of our army and overwhelm our enemies on the day of reckoning. Come to the inaugural meeting of the Forschung, and I'm not even going to fucking pretend I can pronounce that, of the FLA, I guess, led by Professor Bruno Berger, anthropologist and member of the German expedition to Tibet. During this expedition, he unearthed the mysterious underground land of Agartha and the source of Aryan power. Power which will now serve to defeat our enemies. Discover the research whose fruits will soon allow us to wipe the enemies of our National Socialist homeland from the face of the earth. Do not sit idly by. Come and take part in the rebirth of our great Germany. Join us at 21:05 after dinner at the meeting point. Okay, so they were trying to, like, form secret societies. See, this is the reason that I feel like something like this would never actually work, is because you'd always have idiots that are, like, infighting and trying to do other bullshit. It'll be like, hey, guys, the world's gonna end. You have this opportunity to go to this underground bunker and survive as a society. And then somebody's like, but the mole people! And then everything just goes to hell because they just keep on going on about it. And they finally break down a few people, and then they break down a few more, and then suddenly everything goes to hell. Right, so this area is all boarded up. What do I got going on here? Well, this is just... yeah, so these are just like restaurants and such. Nothing too fancy. I mean, I guess that's all relative, right? But yeah, this is definitely not my particular preferred architectural style here. What do I got here? This is a... can't really tell. Is that just like a woman talking to somebody in a mansion? Yeah, and there's a pair of those old style glasses. Yes, it is. That's not weird at all. Alright, what about this? This is more spirits, maybe? Oh, wait. Oh, I expected him to pick it up. I was like, wait, what's going on here? No, I'm carrying that around with me. And then by picking up this rag... okay, so I have spirits, I have a rag. What else? Oh, is this also going to be where Greta Muller was? Interesting. Yeah, so let's see. What's up top here? I saw something up there. And then I'll go ahead and I'll explore the other areas. This is a... yeah, here. Can I go talk to the camera, maybe? Oh, wait.
Why didn't you say anything before? Is there no microphone there? Whoa, this place is a mess. Wait, what's that at the end of the balcony?
I don't really know.
Who'd have thought that Poles wouldn't keep things as tidy as Germans?
Okay, that explains why she couldn't see us, because the thing was all filthy. Alright, yeah, what's this then?
Put his legs up. His kidneys are starting to fail. There is not much we can do for him now.
Serious? You know that?
I'm too tired to have that discussion again.
What do you want from them? To pray their problems away? It hasn't helped them so far.
Interesting.
That's horrific.
Well, I mean, was it really? It's just like...
I don't know what to say.
that's because there's not much to say. Like, that wasn't really that big of a deal. That was just someone... yeah, that was just somebody who was like, yeah, their kidneys are failing, and it's like, oh no, we should help. And they're like, oh no, we can't do that, it's too abominable. Like, okay.
It was such a disappointment.
It's not your fault. That's just the way things are.
Oh, shut the hell up. Oh, life is disappointing. Shut the fuck up. The whining, self-indulgent bullshit. Sorry, I'm still somewhat on edge because I've... some places that I hang out with some of my friends and such, there's always some people that are just pissing and moaning about how terrible life is. And I just want to fucking smack them upside the head and tell them to get the hell over themselves. But, yeah, then again, I just, I'll joke about being shit at games and such, but Jesus Christ. Just have no patience for that nonsense. Oh, hello. Okay, so it's like a storeroom for some sort of paperwork. That is an incredibly strong fire hazard. Anything up here? No, anything... no, I think we're looking good. Well, shit. I don't know if I should be going any deeper then. I don't want to miss out on content. Yeah, I guess let's find out. Yeah, let's oh, okay. So this is definitely progress. Going this way is not gonna be a good thing for me. Let's go ahead and cross over. Let's go see if I can find something on the other side first. Maybe we'll get lucky. And there's 2 doors here. So let's try door number 1. Okay. Yeah, nothing Just some artwork. God, I'm reminded of like how much tastes have changed in like design and art-wise and such. Like I just look at all this and all I can see is just endless bullshit clutter. But like back in the day, this was probably considered like the pinnacle of quality, right? This is probably considered the, you know, this is like, oh, this is what a rich person's house looked like. But I just look at this and I just think that this just looks like shit. Yeah, it probably says something more about me than the times, I guess, but I don't know. I'm proud to like simple things, I guess. Okay, enough. That's just that weird outfit again. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's just kind of stick to the perimeter, see if I can find anything around here. I kind of wish that I had the ability to take out my lighter again, just to go ahead and see stuff a little bit better. But I guess that would probably, yeah, they'd probably start like clipping into stuff and wouldn't make a lot of sense. And the area is pretty well lit. There's only been a few times, but I think I would probably just walk around with it just to be safe. That way I could go ahead and I could always see something. Yeah, nothing, anything else down here at all? Oh, okay, so this is actually how we get, this is how we get to the other area. Okay, this is how I make my way around the corner, so maybe I should go back up those stairs. Come on, game, there we go. To the settlement office, I'm looking at the dietary recommendations for the biocomponents created by the settlement officer, Miss Sieglinde Huber. I found this part particularly amusing. Grain development is highly dependent on essential unsaturated fatty acids. A source of the EUFA is fish, seafood, or seaweed such as algae. Does Miss Huber realize that her recommendations are laughable? If not, could you please give her that message? Why is that laughable? I mean, I'm pretty sure that that's true. That's one of the reasons that, like, the fact that so many people are pushed to eat sugary food and claim that fat is bad for you is, like, borderline criminal levels of fraud. Yeah, that's retarded. I guess this is, like, what, the 50s and 60s, so, yeah, they probably didn't necessarily know that at the time. That was back when people didn't. But then again, it was also probably back before, like, what am I trying to say? Before shitloads of basically, like, corn syrup was added into fucking every single food that we eat nowadays. So, yeah, let's go up here. And then, what about you? Anything up top here? Or is this just, like, a second way around? Well, God, yeah, this... I really don't want to end up missing stuff. That's sort of what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so this is like a little observation post. What was going on here? Is this like a resistance outpost? Weekly report. 46 went, 43 came back, 43 went, 42 came back, 42 went, 36 came back. So, yeah, they're always taking 5 to 6 people. Interesting. I wonder why. Yeah, what were they doing that was needing, like, human, I guess, like, literal human resources? Yeah, well, this was the settlement office, right? Although I wonder if that's just like a rename of something far, far worse. It could be. Anything? I guess it's just jump on down. Hopefully I didn't end up missing anything on that other side of the street. And if I did, then I guess I can just go fuck myself. Come here, kid. Let's go ahead. Let's go through. Where are we... Oh, wait, are we just... Yeah, we're just on the far side of the barricade. Okay, so that was just a different way to go. Alright, that makes sense. And we still got the same thing, Greta here, this violinist. I wonder why she's so important, or is it just like, was she just the one musician they brought? No devotional or ritualistic objects are permitted in the shelter. You can anonymously surrender any such objects in this room. If you are found in your possession, you'll be charged with treason. What? Oh, okay, fuck you, lady. Like, God, yeah, this is all just nonsense. So obviously, she's not a fan of the fact that the scientist or the doctor, whatever we're gonna call him, he was trying to do shit with... Yeah, he was trying to do bullshit with, like, with all of this. And all of the ritualistic and the religious elements and such. Yeah, he's very, very clearly... I don't know, very clearly to me, like, the doctor is probably on the right side. Because you kind of can't... When survival is on the line, you kind of can't go ahead and, like, use weird semi-moralistic things. I guess the way I'm looking at this is that fire burns people to death. Or... it can save your life from freezing to death. Like, so is it wrong to then not use fire? Or is it right then, quote unquote, to not use fire? I mean, that would be stupid as hell. We'd say somebody who claims that is an idiot. So it's kind of the same thing with this computer, right? Just disable its ability to actually harm people if you can, and then go ahead and... yeah, like, I guess, like, stand by and get ready to basically unplug it. But use it to go ahead and save lives, yeah. It seems stupid as hell to not do that.
The anchor symbolizes how strongly we hold to our values. Values which are not up for discussion. A storm rages on the surface. We are whipped back and forth by the gale, but our values remain unchanged. Our fathers, our mothers, our grandmothers and grandfathers, they all shed their blood for principles. Today, so too will we shed our blood. But this time, we shall conquer and seize our future.
Okay, cool story, I guess, Dominica. But, yeah, so, like, is the whole idea supposed to be that, like, basically authoritarians become the very thing they sought to overthrow? Because, I mean, that is true, right? Some of the worst atrocities have been committed by people with, quote-unquote, best of intentions. So, yeah, like, is she turning into the same type of monster that the Nazis were? I mean, it kind of sounds like it. She's doing the whole, like, oh, well, if you're found with this, you'd be charged with treason, because that makes fucking sense. Yeah, that seems dumb as hell. Maybe that's the theme of the game we're going for. Or maybe the theme is that you shouldn't be a stupid idiot and not use the right equipment to go ahead and save yourself if you can, in the name of fucking morals or some shit. Dear all, when they cheated us during food distribution, that should have been the last straw. I was naive to think they could still be reasoned with. I don't think anyone has any more doubts. We strike at noon. Remember, those people no longer resemble the people you once knew. He's brainwashed them. Don't pity them. They wouldn't afford you the same kindness. Okay, so the doctor maybe seized control of food distribution then, because he was the only one smart enough to actually use the automated system that would, you know, feed the entire population? Okay, who's calling me? Is it Ava again?
Hey, I was getting lonely, so I figured I'd call you. I hope you don't mind.
Ava, right?
Did you say your name was Eva?
Yes, that's right.
So you have the same name as that thing.
Could you please not compare me to a live? Besides, Eva is spelled E-W-A, not E-V-E. I thought we agreed to trust each other.
I do trust you. Well, I mean, I guess I trust you as far as you're a computer that probably doesn't know you're a computer. But does Eva translate to Eve in Polish?
I do trust you, I'm sorry.
I have an idea. Each of us says something about themselves. Something personal. I'll start. I was born in Krakow, but I spent most of my life living in a small village in the mountains. My dad is sort of a pastor. I was always really impressed by how he managed to inspire his people. But I never got to meet my mom. Your turn. Remember something personal.
Huh. I think the man in the picture is my father. So our mom did die recently, that's why we're out here. Let's do the man in the picture as our
The
father.
man in the picture might be my father.
Oh, so that's why you're here. You're trying to connect with him. I understand now. Thank you for telling me that. It couldn't have been easy.
I should keep going.
Right. Thanks for the chat, Szymon. Talk to you later.
Okay, yeah, so I'm more and more convinced that she's a creation of the Doctor. So I wonder if... So here's a bit of a wild theory. Our mother might have been Dominica. Although I can't tell with the voices because we only heard her like 2 or 3 times. So until we have a flashback, I won't know necessarily. Our mother was Dominica, or somebody who started with her underground here, and our father was Lucian, the scientist guy. they went ahead and they had a daughter. They had a daughter that ended up being put in the machine to go ahead and power it. And yeah, then maybe the doctor got killed or something trying to get her out. Or maybe he tried to like lead the resistance or something. Maybe got killed by the attack that we just read about in that note over there. And then the mother ran with us, and maybe she was pregnant then. And maybe she tried to get him to leave or something, and then he refused because he was trying to save more lives. But then maybe she's still bitter that he allowed their child or something to be in there. So maybe this is our sister. Or maybe it's something similar. Maybe this person might be related to us, but they don't know what they are. They just know that their name is basically Eve. Yeah, that's sort of my running theory here. Yeah, this is actually a pretty long chapter. I kind of was hoping not to have, like, significantly sized chapters for some of this, or significantly sized videos, but I don't want to have to deal with loading screens more than, like, once or twice a video. So, alright, let's go see. What happened with this memory tube here? Yeah, so if we go ahead and we turn it on, let's see if we can learn more. Let's see if there's anything that sort of leans to my theory.
Sure, just give me a second to find you on the monitors.
I found another Eve memory tube.
We don't need to play it. The system doesn't seem to require it.
What if I want to?
Why would you want to? Has anything good come from digging up the past? So far, it's all been stories of destruction and betrayal.
I found the man I'm looking for in one of these recordings.
I'd rather you didn't waste our time with another memory tube. You know my opinion, do what you want.
Ah, shit. So, like, here's the thing. I really want to play it, but I kind of want to be on Ava's good side. That being said, kids are stubborn assholes, so the kid's gonna play it.
I can't stop you, can I?
Okay, so what's gonna happen here? What are we gonna learn? I guess, like, it seems like this would be useful information anyway, just to be safe. Go ahead and learn a little bit about what the hell happened. Restoring last failure, blah 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 blah. This is after, I think, Host Zero. Host Zero, I think, this was after then. Host Zero, I think, was at 81%.
At this rate, we should be able
milliseconds?
to leave
Jesus.
the bunker in a couple of months. That is, if we choose. Huh? Answer it.
Lucian, we need to talk.
Well, this certainly is a surprise. To what do I owe the pleasure, Dominica?
I want to negotiate.
No. As I've already told you, the situation is simple. We split the food 3 ways. You get a third, we get a third, and the rest will be given as an offering to the gods. If it weren't for their guidance, we wouldn't have found the food to begin with. We must pay our respects.
Fine.
Fine.
We'll split the food 3 ways, but on one condition. You take down those turrets.
I'll take them down. Eventually. If you keep your end of the bargain for the next 2 months, then I'll agree to remove them. Think of it as a grace period.
If you want production to continue, then you need to take them down. Now.
The thing is, Dominica, I need you less than you might think. Come back when you've come to your senses.
Wait. Let's not make any hasty decisions. I'm sure we can come to an understanding, Lucian.
What's happening? Deactivated. She tricked us. I don't know what you're...
You'll find out soon enough. But I can promise this won't end well for you.
Find her. Get those turrets back online quickly. Show me the map. They're already on their way. They mustn't get across the bridge, do you understand? Hold them back.
I guess, yeah, enable traffic control. I think we kind of have to. Close the gate. Blunt weapons detected, okay. Interesting. So they don't really have guns so much, they just have, like...
It's not working.
Yeah. They just have clubs.
Blow it out. We have to
Huh.
blow the bridge, do you understand?
Okay.
There's no other way. If we don't, all of this will have been for nothing. The turrets are back online. Authorize the use of lethal force. Make sure no one's on the bridge when it explodes.
Shit, I don't know. I think I'm on a timer here. Authorize or don't authorize? I don't want to side with the doctor. Because he's being a fucking moron and offering to the gods. But... at the same time, we need food. No, I'm not authorizing. Fuck you, doctor.
What have you done? You still don't understand how any of this works, do you? I didn't want this. I didn't want any of this. You made me do this.
Oh, bullshit. You stupid asshole. Why were there just explosives wired on the bridge anyway? Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, no, this doctor's an asshole. I'm not gonna say that Dominica is any better, but yeah, no, this doctor's a stupid idiot. We're gonna make offerings to the gods, because the gods clearly gave us food. Fucking moron. Boy, this is ominous as hell. But we're back on the bridge, so this is actually where... yeah, this is where everything just got blown to hell. Yeah, why was the bridge wired? And also, I'm still looking at this, and all I can think to myself is this just seems like a lot of wasted effort for no particular reason. Like, why... yeah, why would you go through the effort of building a bridge like this and then making it all fancy and shit? And also, how the hell do those turrets even work? Like, why are there auto turrets here that... I guess maybe he went ahead and he just, like, built them. He had them set up there that were then linked into the security system. I guess that's a possibility. Yeah, sure thing, kid. But then, so what was it then? So the doctor, or the scientist, Lucian or whatever, controlled the food. And then Dominica controlled, like, production of all... so she controlled, like, the mechanical side of things. So she controlled how they would... go ahead and cross? Yeah, she controlled, like, the production maybe of bullets. But yeah, and then you got these turret systems here. Oh wow, those are actually pretty responsive. Okay. Interesting. So wait, hang on. If I go over here, does the system aim at me then? So what would have happened if I had... yeah, what would have happened if I would have turned these on? Would that have killed me? Hello? Can you stop aiming at me, please? Yeah, would these have killed me then? Oh, because it didn't look like the doctor or the scientist... I keep on calling him the fucking doctor for some reason. I guess it's probably true why the scientist didn't turn on the turrets. But it's still not my fault. I mean, at the end of the day, he could have just stopped being a stupid asshole and making offerings to the gods. Yeah, he basically brought this on himself. That's all I can really say. I'm not really... I think both sides are full of shitheads as far as I'm concerned here. Alright, so then, yeah, they must have gone through here. So we went ahead, we closed out the gates. So I wonder if that's sort of like what... I wonder if that's sort of the deal here. If, like... if I didn't close these gates or something, and then didn't arm the bridge or the turrets or stuff, like, would they have made their way faster, and maybe they would have made their way across and done more damage? So then the fact that I closed these gates... Or are those not even options? Like, when those pop up, are those just things that we technically have to do? Because, like, I have to do that whenever it says activate gate or close whatever. but then it only gives me some things that are choices. So maybe we're just repeating what the computer did, and that's what we're changing the story. So in this case, the system didn't use lethal force, which is interesting. So I wonder if we're actually, like, determining sort of Ava's choices, I guess. Yeah, maybe. I'm also really curious how long this is going to go. What the fuck? What is that down there? It's a giant skeleton. Jesus. Are those, like, orcas or something that they were keeping in captivity, maybe? Certainly possible. That does also make me wonder, too. What would have happened if I would have pressed the thing to activate lethal force?
Can you see this?
No, where are you?
It looks like a food processing factory.
I can't.
Eva? Eva?
Okay, so I can't do anything there. I'll go ahead and I'll play with those in just a second. I just kind of want to explore around a bit, see what we're doing. Yeah, I think... Yeah, those are... Oh, wait, no, that's not what. Okay, that's, like, grading and stuff. So, yeah, maybe that's just, like, a couple of cows or something. Supposedly, there actually is something really good that you can... Or, like, in terms of sustainable food, supposedly, like, algae stuff is really, really sustainable in terms of making, like, mass quantities of food. This is that goat. There was something odd about it. What do you mean odd? It had horns, a tail, a goat like any other. Well, did you see what it did? It stood around. Exactly, it stood in the grass and didn't take a bite. Maybe it wasn't hungry. And have you ever seen a goat that wasn't hungry? It's like a calf with two heads. Do you remember how in 43, the Schlotzick's goat ate all the grass in the yard, then ate your belt too, and you had to truss your trousers up with twine? Don't act like you don't know goats never stop eating. I'm telling you something with that goat isn't right. Well, it's a miracle goat. Maybe miracle goats are more particular about what they eat. You old fool, you'll believe anything. If some pretty young thing lifted her skirt, you'd think it was for true love and not the 6 pounds of dried meat in the larder. Yeah, okay. So maybe there is something going on then with the gods. Maybe there is a compelling argument to be made that there was... Yeah, that something happened here. Let's see. So then... Okay. What if I press... So you close that, and then... Press you? Oh, okay. So that went ahead and that did that. I don't really know what the point of any of that was, but okay. Yeah, there must be something really weird going on here. These guys... Yeah, they had something really fucky happening. Let's see. Can I... I guess, yeah, I guess like when I walk up to those, the game does just sort of force me. Oh dear, that's not good. Oh, help me?
Help me!
Kid, just... Okay, yeah, let's get the fuck off of here. I don't know why, yeah, why is this stupid idiot kid just like... Why didn't he just roll off? Like, fucking A, man. Cattle don't have hands. You can just grab this. Yeah, like, hook one arm around here, and then this thing is just gonna not do anything. Stupid asshole. Alright. Well, let's see. We got more meat hooks. Yeah, there's just more meat processing bullshit. Alright, let's... yeah, okay, so I guess I'm in a meat processing area. I'm amazed at how long this chapter is going. I'm probably going to have to just split this in half at some point, but... Okay, Ava, can you help me?
Eva? Can you hear me? I thought I was going to die. I need to tell you something. You saved my life, and not just now. When my mom passed away, I didn't think I could carry on alone. There was no one, nothing left for me to live for. I tried looking for Lucian because I needed someone to be there for me. But that someone was you, not him. I have a goal now. I'm going to find you.
Cool, I guess he suddenly just really cares about her. Great, I guess? That seemed out of nowhere. Alright. I will say, that actually is something that's very compelling, too. One of the best advices that I've ever been given or that I've ever seen and have given to people who kind of feel like listless and lost in life, is basically set goals. They can be really short-term, they can be long-term, but set goals, because the thing that makes people feel good, the thing that drives, I think, is like serotonin and everything else, it's not actually succeeding. That plays a small role, but what it is it's seeing progress towards your goal. That's the thing that makes people feel good. And it's a really interesting little psychological effect that you can use to sort of get yourself out of bad places. A stenographic letter, request letter. According to the settlement office, we are to be supplied with 200 tons of spelt no later than 3/1/60. No such delivery has been made thus far. This is an urgent matter. I expect a prompt response. Noted, your request has been noted. The delay is due to the unfathomable stupidity of Polish bandits. They wanted to blow up an SS outpost, but their explosives had exploded prematurely, destroying a nearby storage facility that was holding spelt meant for Zulzendorf. We'll supply you with spelt as soon as possible. I really wish I knew what spelt was, because I feel like that would make this actually have more meaning to me, because I don't know what the hell it is. Alright, so I guess let's just check over here too, make sure there probably isn't going to be much of a difference between the two sides, but I figured I'd go ahead and just check and see. Yeah, no, so both of these just lead through, and I can't open that up. Alright, so far so good. Yeah, fucking A, how long is this chapter? This is bargaining. I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? There was bargaining between Lucian and the lady, Dominica. I'm just going to open up one side, and unless I see something over there that I could interact with. But no, so, yeah, they're doing like greenhouses. I wonder what they're growing here. I wonder what kind of plants these are. Are these like supposed to be tomatoes or something? Which actually, that is one of those things that people oftentimes don't really think about too much when they look into getting into prepping. I actually have like a whole bunch of books and stuff sitting around that are saved right now, and it's basically about like cycling crops to go ahead and maintain healthy soils. And it's a really complicated topic, because it's cycling through a whole bunch of different shit to, pull nitrogen into the soil and balance pH and blah blah blah. It's really kind of interesting for anyone who would like to be prepared for that stuff, but man, there's so much detail that goes into that. People have gone completely fucking nuts with this whole faith of the ancestors thing. They want to make sacrifices. We don't have enough food to just be tossing it away so the gods may feast. I need to think of something that will satisfy the gods but keep the offering intact. There has to be a fire, otherwise they won't buy it. And when I throw something on it, the flames should spurt up. Maybe some kind of LED thing. I think I saw some lights somewhere, just have to keep the dolts away from the sacrificial fire or they'll catch on. The hallowed tree should be a good spot for making sacrifices. There needs to be a hole behind the fire with a photovoltaic cell hooked up to a circuit, so it sends an impulse that increases the flame. Underneath, there can be a container for the sacrifices, which will go right back to the storehouse. Damn if I'd known I'd end up being forced to meddle with electronics, I'd never have decided to become a priest. Oh boy, okay, so... Wait, was the doctor not doing that then? Or was he... Or was that someone else? Was he like having priests and then he was like the high priest of the gods or whatever bullshit that we're talking about here? Huh, okay, well, that door just clipped right into our legs. Yeah, very, very interesting. Okay, I guess if this is here, I probably wouldn't have ended up cutting the video. I'll just have a long one. So what is step 4? Depression. And then I think step 5 is acceptance, yeah. So I think I had the right idea earlier. I think I just had them wrong, but that, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the video there. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you next time.